I don't know if you heard me, but he said yes to his favor. Yes to his favor. My grace is right there for you. I'm telling you, the favor is there, grace is there, mercy is there, all type of possibility is there. The sky is the limit because God said that I've got favor with you. Paul had a problem or an issue. And many of us have problems or issues. If you meet anyone, if you meet someone and they say they don't have problems or issues, I'm here to tell you. You run as fast as you can because that's one that's never going to tell you the truth. We all have had problems and issues. But Paul had a problem or an issue, and or may I say a sickness, and it was a hindrance to his ministry. And sometimes our issue and our problems can be a hindrance to our ministry, a hindrance to our marriage, a hindrance to our life, period. Sometimes the issue can grow that big. And but the Bible declared that Paul prayed that God will remove it. However, God refused. Did you hear what I say? Paul was a man of God, anointed, preached God's word. And he went to God and asked God to remove it, to remove this problem, this issue that he was having. But God refused to move it. Wow. Have you ever asked God for something, and want God to do something, and it just didn't go your way? Paul's affliction must have been difficult for him. Nevertheless, it kept Paul humble. Hey, many things that we're going to have to die with. We're going to have to go to the grave with. And many times those same things are the things that's going to keep us humble. But it kept Paul humble. And before God, it kept him before God. And also the need for constant contact with God, my Jesus. And also benefited those around him as they saw God demonstrate his power in Paul's life. Many times God allow us to keep those things, to keep those issues, to keep us humble, but also to bless somebody that we are encountering or that's going to encounter in our life. Tell somebody when you see him, tell somebody what I am going through or been through was to benefit you. What I've been through in my life, it is to benefit you. It is to benefit you. Even the mistakes I've made, it was to benefit you. So you don't have to go through that same mistake. My grandmother, Miss Carrie, Steele, told me something. Old people used to say, it used to be an old saying, if I can remember it. Right off head, I just can't remember it. But it's an old saying that the people's experience is the best teacher. And my grandma told me something that I'll never forget. She said, evaluated experience is the best teacher. You watch someone else and they make that same mistake. And you see what happened to them so you don't make the same mistake. Evaluated experience is the best teacher. But going back, Paul, everything that Paul went through, and God said no to Paul, I won't take this affliction from you. So you can see the power of God. What I've been through wasn't just for me, but it was also for you. So you can see the power of God demonstrated in my life, letting you know that you can go through hell, that you can go through the rain, that you can go through the storm, you can go through the situation and still hold on to God. And still hold on to God. I know there comes a time when we don't understand why God, we don't understand why God says no to us about some of the things we are dealing with, and why he just don't take it away and remove it from us. So now we think that God do not love us, or we let the devil tell us that he is not real, when God is making us humble and trying to fix our character. That's all. Trying to fix our character. Many of us need God to work on our character. Some of us have some stinking character, and we just need God to come in and work on the character. So maybe what you're going through right now is just for God to work on your character. Maybe if you change your character, maybe things would change. God might not move the issue. Nevertheless, he demonstrated his might, power, grace, favor, life, mercy. My God. God's power is displayed and demonstrated in our weakness. Isn't that something? Even in my weakness, God's power can still be demonstrated, and also faith, and help us to recognize our limitations. So when, my God, help us to recognize our limitation. So when, so we will depend always on God. I can recognize my limitation, and I'll always depend on God. Used to be old song, you can depend on God, you can depend on God. So I will depend on God when I can't depend on no one else. I've been there when all I could do is just look to God. I can understand why David said, I looked at the hills which cometh my help, and my help cometh from the Lord. Everything else, you had nothing else to look to. I've been there. Had no one else to look to. And all I could do is look to God. Paul used the word a messenger of Satan. I thought on that. My God, I did. An angel from, I want to get back. He said a messenger of Satan. The devil can bring some message in your life to tear your life down. He'll bring some message from the pits of hell to destroy your destiny if you're not careful. The angel suggests that the thorn in his flesh, a demon affliction. Paul's life and ministry, that messenger came to destroy your life and your ministry. But the Bible said, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil and the evil days, because these days are evil, and you got to have the power of God to be able to stand, because the devil is after your life. He desires to sift you as wheat, and he desires to destroy your ministry. It was like a stick in Paul's flesh. Demonized person. Not a physical illness, an angel sent from hell. Not just these little simple things, but the demon came to destroy the indwelling ringleader of the Corinthians. Came to destroy Paul and his ministry. conspiracy come to destroy the leader of the Corinthians conspiracy. The leaders are false apostles. Lest I be exalted above measure. Those leaders came to destroy God's apostle that the demon has sent. And the enemy got all kind of demons out there that try to destroy what God has placed in you. Destroy the leadership that's inside of you. This was painful for Paul. However, he survived. And here, he survived. And here, you got to know how to survive in your mind, even when your flesh is going through hell. You got to know how to survive in your heart, even when your flesh is aching like a stick going through every bit of your flesh. God was allowing Satan to bring this problem in the church for the purpose of humbling Paul. God was still giving Paul revelation, even though he was going through, church was going through, but God was giving him revelation. Have you ever been going through so much stuff, but God is still dealing with you, still giving you dreams, still showing you favor, giving you mercy, and you just going through all kind of problems, and you can say, it may not be going like I wanted to go. It may not look like but I thank God it could be worse. You know that the mercy of God have not left you. Paul prayed 3 times to remove. He prayed 3 times. This reminds me of Jesus also in Mark 14:32 and 41. He just prayed. Turn to it. He prayed, but not everybody gonna stay with you, even through the praying time. Said, my grace is sufficient for you. I may need some help from some of your school teachers in here, your English majors. God told Paul, my grace is sufficient for you. The present tense of the verb translated is sufficient. Reveal the contents, availability of God's grace. God would not remove the throne as Paul had requested, but would constantly supply him with the grace and endure it. To endure it. My God, my grace is sufficient for you. My grace is sufficient for you. God is telling you and I that he is going to constantly provide you and I with his grace to endure. So I can do all things through Christ that strengthen me because of favor, his mercy, and thank God his grace. I can do all things through Christ that strengthen me. But by the grace of God, I am that I am. And his grace which was bestowed upon me was not in vain, but I labored more abundantly than them all, Paul said. Yet not I, but the grace of God, which was, which is with me. I want you to know that God is saying, my favor is there. Even though you may be going through, even in the midst of the situation, God said, I hear your request. I hear your call. And you ask the question, what do you do when God say no? Hold on. Hold on with everything that's in you. You have nothing else to hold on to? Hold on. Because there's something there. Hold on. And it got worse in the midst of the request. Even though it got worse in the midst of the request, God said, I still hear you. And I'm still with you. Hold on and let God work it out. Don't give up when the battle seems difficult and when it seems like you can't make it. That is your strengthening time. Many times that's your most powerful time. Hold on to God.